Coach, you sounded pretty perplexed after the game Wednesday night in Athens. After watching the film, did you find anything to feel better about?
Well, the thing that was perplexing about the other night was, we had played two teams that are very physical, and I thought we really played very, very, very hard physically with our effort, particularly in both of those games, to be honest with you. But and then not to have that same kind of mentality was what was most disappointing, because we didn't do anything that we at the level that we need to with our scouting report, and they didn't do anything that we didn't talk about with our guys, and so that was the most disappointing thing. And our first two offensive possessions, we actually I could go as far as probably 6 or 7. We just stayed behind the 3-point line, didn't try to put any pressure on the rim, and that's what we had talked about wanting to do. But looking at the film, not much changed about what my thoughts were after the game, and other than the fact that I know that we can. There's nothing that we can't fix if the mindset's right.
You said soft kind of over and over again about the defense. How do you kind of hammer home being tough into a team like this?
Well, that's a good question. Other than the fact that you point out the obvious, and when you talk about soft, now that can go a lot of different ways. It can be mental, where guys aren't locked in doing their job mentally, especially when they've done it before. And it's not like we hadn't done it's not like we had a whole different game plan against Georgia, because what we do defensively, we try to stay as consistent as we can. But I think it's guys understanding how difficult it is to win at this level. And I think that's what, you go back, I could take you back 3-4 years ago, some of the same conversations this time of year were held then, because these guys are going through something that they've never gone through. They've only watched it from afar as a high school kid. But then we need our older guys. I said the other night, we need John Fulkerson and Jordan Bowden and Jalen Johnson and Eve Pons to be really good every night. We need them to at least just do the fundamental things that we need them to do. And it can't be just one night and 3 of them not doing it. Those guys are important. They really are. But and our younger guys, like I said, they're doing some good things, and they still haven't quite understood the importance that every possession matters. But you kind of expect that a little bit this time of year, playing as many freshmen that we are putting out there. But the older guys, they played enough to know better.
Have you ever had a year quite like this one, just in terms of the roster changing as much as it has in midstream?
I never have. And I've said before, we feel like we start over. I think Grant asked me a question after game about zone defense. There's a lot of things we'd like to do, but we can't, because we're just starting over with. I don't think Santi could have made the impact that he made early when he first got here without us adjusting to him some, and not expecting him to totally adjust to us. But as time has gone on, we're trying to get him to adjust to what we want to do and how we want to play. And so he's learning that. Plus now he's having to learn to play off the ball as well. And so, there's some times during the game we'll leave the timeout and he'll just say, "Coach, exactly what do I need to do here?" Where there's a lot coming at him. But overall, I don't think we've ever had two players come in right after Christmas and like it's happened. But Uros is not so much. Now he was a little nervous. He told us that after the game, because it happened so suddenly for him. And I thought he really, and I said it after the game, handled himself pretty well. But we need those guys, and we need to get on track to where we can start trying to build some continuity with what we're doing.
With your his practice, does that kind of help in terms of the adjustment process compared to what y'all are dealing with Santos?
Yeah, Uros shouldn't. He's been here from day one. He knows what we're doing, and it's a matter of him now, and when the lights come on and the motion of the game's going on, that he can concentrate and think about it. Like the other night, he had some blown assignments on our defense, ball screen defense, and had a chance to block some shots that he didn't. So, but from a scheme point of view, he should know what we're doing, because he's been with us from day one. Santi, on the other hand, has got a lot coming at him right now.
You mentioned Wednesday that Jordan was really the only one that was able to kind of get you into transition. Do you at all consider him, using him in that position more going forward?
We have, and we've told him. I've told you guys before. If one of those guards get it, we'd like to see them go with it, and those guys be as interchangeable as possible. But he did. He when he went there, he did do that, and playing the point's not the easiest thing to do. And what we want in our transition game, that position's most important, obviously, and people know that, I think, on any team. But He can. Could he do it all the time? I don't think he wants to do it all the time, but I think it can help him doing it some. I do think that, and plus if he gets in there and rebounds, we'd like to see him come out with it.
Have you dealt with a team before that just kind of struggles to consistently follow a scouting report?
You know, that's a really good question because I've said before, as the neat thing about having an older group of guys, most of the time you only have to maybe coach one new guy or two guys, you know, but out there now, you know, if because we got guys playing new positions, you're really coaching all 5 spots a lot, and you're asking guys to learn a lot and to really maintain their thought process, their intensity level. But that's part of growing too. Understanding the scouting report and understanding that it's what it is. It's a cheat sheet for you, but you've got to be willing to make it happen. And it can be a matter of 2 feet sometimes. You know where you are on the court, understanding the spacing, all that, whether it's offense or defense. But it's just that we've got a lot of freshmen, and we got guys that were put into situations that honestly we thought a couple of these guys might be in a position to redshirt this year, but that's not the case. And they're out there having them play, and they're learning. That's all I can tell you. They're learning.
Where do you feel Santiago is defensively? Seemed like he had a hard time in maybe transition the other night.
I thought he looked really tired the other night. I thought it. I told the coaches after the game, I felt like it finally caught up with him a little bit with what he's going through. I thought he looked tired before the game. Now I don't know if it's emotionally or I'm sure it's a little bit of all of it, you know. But what he's gone through in 2 weeks is pretty remarkable if you think about it. And but it's not because of a lack of want to or effort. Because again, he's learning, and now I'm taking him in and out of the game when he doesn't do the things that we've talked about, and so that I'm sure that wears on him too a little bit. But the bottom line is that at times we've got to have organization. We've got to be together. If he doesn't know it totally, we've got to get the guys out there that we think can the 5 guys can really handle it together in certain situations.
What do you see from Vanderbilt and just how much they changed without Neesmith?
Well, you know, I think Jerry Stackhouse has done a terrific job. I do. I look at what he's done, and he runs some really good things. You know, they will mix their defenses. You know, they'll play. I think they want to play mostly man, but we'll play some zone. Have shown some pressure, you know, when needed, but they haven't changed a whole lot because I think at this time of year, when you get going, you like to be able to. I think you have to change when you're like we've had to change. Because we've added a piece, but I think again he's done a really good job. Guys are still playing hard, and Saban Lee's as tough a player to guard as there in the country. I mean, he gets that ball where he wants to get it, and they've got young guys playing too that are learning. And but again, I think he's done a really good job. And when you lose a guy that's one of the best scorers in the country and a guy you count on heavily, that's tough. I mean, we did it here for 2 years, and we lost Kevin Punter and we lost Robert Hubbs, our 2 leading scorers at one time, and it's hard. But what it will do, it will hopefully what we would say, and I think he would feel like is accelerate the learning of those younger guys.
Do you want Carolina stuff?
No, he's not. I think he runs some really good sets. I mean, you go back and watch some of the games when he's dialed up some good stuff at the end of the games, and I'm sure he's his NBA. Jerry Stackhouse is really one of the best players I've ever coached against. To this day, I think 2 of the greatest dunks I've ever seen. He had one of them, and I think that he's having a really positive influence on his team, and he's really really good sets. They run really good sets, but I haven't seen much of the Carolina system.
Did you like the way that Roche seemed to have a plan when he got the ball in the post the other night? It seemed like he was maybe more assertive than Fulkerson or Pons. Yeah,
we weren't sure what he was going to do. But that's what we wanted to do. That's what we need him to do, and he did that. Now he'll have to learn. If he can do that a couple more times, now he won't have as much room. So he's going to have to learn to be quicker. He's going to have to learn to be stronger with the ball. But just those shots he took, I mean, the first one, you get it. I mean, he was nervous, and he short-armed it a little bit, but he has the ability to score in there and do a lot of things. But he's a freshman too. I mean, he's learning, and he hasn't played in a long time. And but we need him. We need him to do that. We need John to do it. Olivier needs to get back inside. He's thinking too much perimeter right now, and we need him to get back in there and do some work. And Olivier can. He just got to settle down. He's got too much going through his head right now, where he just needs to do a couple things well for us, and then his offense will come.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
What was the